Here's Brody Brazil.
Okay, I hope you're ready for this because I'm already about 4 days late on my 2022 New Year's resolutions? With a question mark. I kind of feel like Ron Burgundy reading off the teleprompter, but I don't have a prompter. And I did put this question mark here myself. That's because I'm not really sure how to feel about coming up with something for January 1st of every year and trying to uphold it for an entire 365 days. I'm not sure I've ever successfully followed through on a New Year's resolution before. And don't get me wrong, I've had good ideas over the years. I like the mentality of a fresh start, of a clean slate, the opportunity to be better, to have a better calendar year. But in terms of New Year's resolutions and starting something January 1st, I mean, I've had ideas in the middle of years or on my birthday, which is in April, and I've tried to implement them as the year goes on. But again, starting on January 1st, I'm not sure I've ever successfully been able to have one of these and make it work and make it worthwhile. So what I'm about to present here are more like ideas. They're not specific things. They're not very black and white. They're actually kind of broad. And I also want to throw in the disclaimer about my 2022 New Year's resolutions. There's 4 of them, that they're very specific to the current times we're in. They're mindful of where we've been in 2020 and 21 and what 2022 might be like. Things are already very difficult. Again, so these are not going to be like something I probably would have come up with for 2017, hypothetically. All right, let's jump right in here. Number 1, and these are in no particular order. Everybody says this, right? They want to lose weight. I'm just saying I want to slim down a little bit. Now, I'm not saying this for aesthetic reasons or I look at myself and I'm out of shape. And I mean, I am healthy. I'm in pretty good shape. But what it is how I feel. You know, I think a lot of people are more into the image thing, and I get it. I'm a TV person. I'm here on your screen right now. It's not that. It's actually just how I feel. And the reason that I probably don't feel good is that I've really indulged in food, I think, differently since the start of 2020, the beginning couple months of 20. Because after stressful days and cycles of news events and sequences of things, a lot of times at night, I'll say, all right, treat yourself to that extra ice cream, even though you had some last night and the night before. Or treat yourself to that second IPA tonight, even though you already had a beer the night before and 2 nights before that. And so I do feel like these are things that I didn't used to do in the normal times, right? I didn't indulge as much. And I think that alone is going to just help me slim down a little bit. Again, it's not to try and hit a target weight. I don't even know what I weigh right now. We don't even have a scale at our house. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but we just don't. It's not fitting into clothes. It's just how I feel. I want to feel a little bit more slimmed down. I feel lighter. I feel better. I know what that feels like. I know I'm not there right now. And realistically, it's not the exercise. I'm definitely putting that in. It's not the output. It's the intake, which I probably need to do a little bit of a better job controlling based on the circumstances. So I'm not telling anybody else to follow my advice, just sharing that with you. That's definitely one of the 4. You're also going to notice a theme here. These all start with S. Slim was number 1. It was the first. Steady is the second one here. What do I mean by that? This is actually a word that Dan Rather uses quite a bit. Who would have thought Dan Rather would emerge after all those years on old media, hosting the CBS Evening News, that now he's a superstar on Twitter. And he has a Substack, I don't know if you call that a journal, website, whatever it is. And it's called Steady. It's one of the themes. In fact, it's in his book, his recent book about how divided America is, how being steady can benefit you. What I mean by that, a lot of times I'll get some information that stresses me out, pushes my buttons. And me from a couple of years ago, like literally take the thermostat and go from 60 to 95 real fast. I get hot. and my brain starts to run around way too fast. And I recognize it in the moment that I'm overthinking things. I'm overreacting to things, and I may not even show it. Quite honestly, I don't think I project it hardly at all, but inside here, things get moving fast and things get hot pretty quickly. What I need to do better at is being steady, rolling with the punches, realizing that like any good flight, there's going to be turbulent moments, but that doesn't define the takeoff or the landing or the safety of the flight. There's bumps in the road. And I think, again, in the last 2 years especially, it doesn't take much to kind of get me going on something. So steady, realizing the bigger picture, taking a step back, taking a deep breath. I think all of that has to do with being steady. Now, there is a flip side of this. And I actually think I'm too good at being steady when good things happen. I kind of live by that mentality of pretend like you've been there before. No, act like you've been there before. But maybe it's okay to be excited when you get to go on a trip. You get to have an opportunity. You know, I guess maybe I tend to downplay those things too much, not overhype them. But I know when I'm saying be steady, that is being steady, maybe less steady about those things, but more steady about the negatives. I can be steadier. Again, this is the theme of my resolutions here. They're not singular and isolated. These are wide themes to try and adopt for 2022. So slim, steady, and we're going back to the physical attributes here, stretch. Now, I guess this has a little bit to do with fitness and being in the right shape, but I've always been physically a very tight person. Like, I can't even really touch my toes. Tightness in my knees, and just physically, I've always been overly tight. And I know I should get into yoga. I'm a person who, in my 20s, before I'd work out, there was no warm up. It was jump on the bike or jump on the treadmill, get the blood going, get a sweat going, then go lift some weights, and then no post-workout stretch, none of that. I'm 40 now. I still don't stretch well enough, long enough, often enough. It doesn't even have to be connected to a workout. I just think that so many injuries can be prevented and avoided by stretching. Stretching should not be that hard. I've got to dedicate and devote some time to just stretching. Increase blood flow, circulation. I mean, think about it. Everything in your body that's not a bone is somewhat flexible, right? Do you think we're really getting the motion and the flexibility out of all of our, flesh and extremities? Like, I don't think we are. I'm really not sure we are. And I especially am not. I've always been way too tight. So maybe a little foam rolling included here, but stretching it out for me has got to be one. All right, and then the last one, streamline. I feel like my life is very segmented, and it has been for the last couple of years. There's Dad Brody, there's TV worker Brody, there's home improvement Brody, there's family Brody, there's let's go have some beers Brody, there's play some video games. Okay, so I wear all these different hats, and a lot of you do too. I feel like, though, I need to just organize my life a little bit better and streamline things, because I'm so deep into one thing, right? So deep into this. And then all of a sudden I got to make a quick change and be deep into this. So how can I streamline it so that I can easily navigate where it is kind of like playing a video game? I hit pause here and I go do this, or I hit pause here and then I go do that. But I don't want to lose track of where I hit pause. What was I doing when I hit pause? So one of the things I've come up with here for streamlining my life, and this is so simple. Where's my phone? Is that I'm literally going to, and I don't want to show. I grab my phone. I don't want to show this to you, but I'm literally going to use the Notes app and I'm going to use the Reminders app to make a lot better lists and organize things and ideas. Like, that's another one. I have ideas all the time for TV shows, for social media stuff, for YouTube content. And I don't really, I lose some of them because they're in my mind when I'm driving or I'm walking the dog, and then they never come back because I forgot to write them down. So if I streamline things, if I keep track and I organize myself a little bit better, I think I'm going to find a lot more success. And that way I can kind of simplify, you know? It's all going to be right there for me instead of, where did I put this? Where did I put that? So streamlining, being more efficient. So I don't know if any of that made sense to you. I don't know if anybody cares about me sharing this. Again, I'm 4 to 5 days late, depending on when you watch this. But those are my 2022 New Year's resolutions. And let me know what you think. Let me know what your resolutions are in the comment section below.